A square is inscribed in a circle. The radius of the circle is 20 root 2 over 2, right? This 20 root 2 over 2 should give us 10 root 2 anyway, inches. So what is the side length in inches of the square? To make this particular solution simple, let's draw a circle and let the square be inscribed in it. So let's say this is our circle and this is the square that will be inscribed in it. Let me reduce the length. So let me see if this still makes some sense. Okay. Alright. So this is the circle, this is the square inscribed in it. So we're told that a square is inscribed in a circle. The radius of the circle is 20 root 2. So the radius is the distance from the center of the circle. So let's assume that this is the center of the circle. So the distance from the center of the circle to any part along the circumference. So from here to here is a radius. From here to here, is another radius. All right. And if we extend it, right, and that radius actually basically form an half of the diagonal of the square. So what is the side length of the square? So for us to get the side length of the square, it implies that we may need to extend the radius to form a full diameter. Alright, so pardon me, let me regenerate the radius. I think it will make some sense if I use the diagonal of the square. So if I use the diagonal of the square, so we can actually determine this to be the center of the circle. So I can say this is O. So from here to here is 20 root 2. And from here to here is another 20 root 2, which makes a full diameter. All right. So our interest now is that what is the side length? So the side length here, so all I will do is I will label this. Let me call this one A, let's call this B, C, and D, right? So and I know that from here to here is the radius of the circle, and there's a relationship between radius and diameter. We know that D is equal to 2r. So if D is 2r, then I can say that this full diameter, if I know the diameter of this circle, I can actually predict what is here and what is here. How do I know? We know that D will now be 2 times what is the radius of the circle, that is 20 root 2 divided by 2. This cancel this, right? So then the diameter basically is 20 root 2. So the full diameter is 20 root 2. So and for this square, this is L, this is L, this is L, this is L. So we can pick any of this triangle. So don't forget that AC or BD is the diameter, of the circle, which correspond to diagonal of the square. So from triangle, so from triangle A, let's say ACD, we are going to be having something like this. So this is going to be looking like this, right? So this is A, this is C, and this is D. Don't forget that AC is the diagonal of the of the square, which correspond to the diameter of the circle. So that is this is 20 root 2, and this is L, and this is L. So what we are looking for is L. So this is 90 automatically. Each interior angle of a square is 90 degrees. So we are going to be using the Pythagorean theorem to determine each of these lengths. So according to Pythagorean theorem, the square of the hypotenuse is equal to the sum of the square of the other two sides. So in that case, we are going to be having AC square is equal to it's equal to AD square, right, plus CD square. All right, so that is that. So what is our AC? That is 20 root 2 square, right, is got to what? AD, that is what? L square plus what? L square. So what is 20 root 2? If I distribute this square, that will be what? 20 square, root 2 square is got to L square plus L square, that is what? 2L square. Okay, so if we move on, 20 square would give us 400. So we have 400 root 2 square, square root cancel square, that'll be times 2, give us what? 2L square. 2 cancel what? 2. So what we have left is 400 is equal to what? L square. So this implies that L square is equal to 400. So L basically will now be what? Plus or minus square root of 400. The reason why I introduced plus or minus is because at this point this is a quadratic equation, and of course when the power of any equation is even, right, it's gonna be having, there are two possible solutions to it. So even if this L raised to power 4, it will still be plus or minus, right? So but because the length we are looking for cannot be negative, so we can discard the negative. So L will now be square root of 400, and square root of 400 will give us what? 20. So the side length that we are looking for, the side length of the square, what is the side length in inches of the square, is what? Option A, which is what? 20. I want to believe this video has helped someone. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.